I know I said I wasn't going to be doing another book haul for a while, but I have decided to jump in all the way with Charlotte Mason yet again. And because I'm doing that, I wanted to buy several books to help round out a holistic Charlotte Mason curriculum. Hi, my name is Brecky, and I'm the homeschooling mom of twins. My twins are in first grade. They're both girls. I also have two older children who are in high school and have been publicly schooled the whole journey. So I am definitely seeing firsthand the differences between a Charlotte Mason inspired education and the public school education with its more traditional way of doing schooling. Today, I want to show you some of the finds that I picked up at our local homeschool consignment. Now, I live in between two big conglomerate city triangles, if you will, in North Carolina. I have one set to one side and another set of three cities to the other side. And about an hour from me, there is a homeschool consignment shop where I will go to take used curriculum. Yes, I know I can sell it online and sell it through Facebook Marketplace, but to be pretty honest, that is just one extra thing to do, and having someone else sell it on consignment saves me a step. I know I make less money, I know I make money more gradually, but that is not essential for me. I am lucky that I don't have to sell curriculum in order to buy curriculum. So I was taking a few things to sell with them, and I had a meeting out in that side of town. And so because of that, because I was already going to be out there, I decided to run by and just see what Charlotte Mason resources they had. Now, they only have two lonely little shelves in this big store of Charlotte Mason resale, although they have a ton of other resources that just aren't stuck in that same little shelf. But today I'm going to show you some of the things I picked up. I also ordered a couple of things online to complete our curriculum and to round that out. And I do have two things on order that have not come in, but I know that if I don't do a book haul, I'm gonna just go put these on the shelves and I won't bring them back. I don't want them sitting in my office. My office is cluttery enough without these new books. So let me just jump in and show you some of the things that I got. Now, the two things that I ordered online that have come in are Tales from Grimm, translated and illustrated by Wanda Gag. This is one of the required reads for our Alveary curriculum, and Around the World in 80 Tales, another read from our Alveary curriculum. I'm really excited about this one. I'm leaning into reading the kind of wonder tales. I resisted it, y'all. I resisted it for so long, and now I'm just going to lean in. So these are two that I ordered. I did order them from Amazon because I had some points, I had some money kind of accrued. So I wanted to go ahead and use it so I can really try to pull back from my Zon orders. The other two books that I have on order, and if they come in before I finish editing them, I will add that clip in, but I'm ordering 50 Famous Stories Retold by James Baldwin. I didn't realize it was the James Baldwin, the great essayist. So we're gonna get these. And then I also ordered America First. Now, the original version is by Lawton Evans, but it's been updated by Rachel Leibovitz, and that is so that it takes out a lot of the racial language, right? A lot of the things we would consider slurs, like calling Native Americans Indians or savages. Those phrases have been taken out, but the heart of the stories have been kept. So I have ordered both of those. Those are not part of my Alveary curriculum. I got those recommendations from Ambleside and Wildwood. I will link all three of the Charlotte Mason resources I'm using down below, but I really want to have them on hand because we're just going to read a lot of tales. We're just going to lean into tales this year and probably next year too, and I'm excited about it. Then I got a couple other things that aren't specifically Charlotte Mason. I was able to get my third nature reader for just $8, which is about half of what this costs new. So I have this one. I also got Wesley and the Wolves. This is a shared reading book. So your kid would read this part and then you would read this part. These are both The Good and the Beautiful, and I don't even know that they sell these anymore, but to be able to get this for half price and to get this one, I just think that these will be really useful. We like The Good and the Beautiful for their readers, and if I can get them at a discount, it's a win. It's a win to me. The other thing that I got was What Am I? This is the first installment. As you can see, I have the second one here. I already have this, but I want to be able to have one for each daughter so they can start taking them and reading them with a different parent. We can split them up and have one kid with me and one kid with their dad, and that way we're not having to wait on one book. So this was, how much was this? It was $8. It was $8. So it's a win to me. I'm sorry if you can hear someone doing yard work. They just decided to start blowing, it sounds like blowing leaves. I hope you can't hear it too badly. Now the next chunk of what you're going to see isn't assigned in my Alveary curriculum, but these are books that keep coming up in different Charlotte Mason communities and forums. So I've seen them on Ambleside, I've seen them on Wildwood, which if you don't know is a totally free alternative to Ambleside that is completely secular. Again, I'll link them below if you are looking for that. I find her suggestions are lovely, and she did a really great look at how they pick their history curriculum and how their goal was to be intentionally moderate, and so why they haven't chosen some texts over other texts and are trying to shoot for a secular moderate voice, which I think is pretty fabulous. Anyways, I've seen a lot of these recommendations on Ambleside, on Wildwood, on the Alveary, on Simply Charlotte Mason, and some of the recommendations. Some of these have been name dropped on a Delectable Feast podcast, which I think Sabbath Mood is their like curriculum branch. If I can get them at a significant discount, I'm going to pick them up. So I grabbed The Courage of Sarah Noble by Alice Dalgliesh, Children of the Longhouse by Joseph Bruach. I think one of his books is on the docket for next year. So Pedro's Journal. This is about someone traveling with Christopher Columbus. I'm going to pre-read this to make sure it's okay, but this was super cheap. Yeah, it was $3. So I'm going to pre-read this, and if it's okay, we might read this spring. An Arrow Over a Door. This was 99 cents. It was on sale for 99 cents. And yeah, gotta love that. What is Poetry? The Essential Guide to Reading and Writing Poems by Michael Rosen. I believe that this is required in later elementary, and it's something I would like to read and prep for myself as I'm teaching poetry in a more structured way at home. Some of you guys don't know this, but before I went to graduate school, I wanted to be a novelist and a poet. Though that was the job I wanted, was to write novels and write poetry. And I actually went to graduate school with Mary Oliver's teaching assistant up in Vermont. He came and went to graduate school with me, and now he's a Baptist minister or an Episcopal priest. I don't remember. He was a Baptist when he was in school with me. At any rate, yeah, so I love poetry. I just don't know how to teach it to little ones. You know what I mean? Okay. Then we got The Borrowers. We have The Borrowers afloat or aloft, so I thought we should get the first one so we can read those. I want to have lots of good free reads on hand. Then I grabbed Viking Adventures. This is one of the Clyde Beulah books that is considered a classic. Again, I am going to pre-read some of these to make sure that they really are okay. If there are books that I don't think are acceptable for us, then I will just either take them back to the resale store, or I'll donate them, or I'll throw them away. Some of these are kind of already been well loved. But I'm thinking that we will probably finish the Native American unit about a month ahead based on kind of our interest right now. And so I'd like to do a mini Viking unit, because then we are going to be jumping ahead in time, and I don't want them to be in like 5th grade before they do any Vikings. You know what I mean? So this might be a part of a Viking unit, and then I'd like to get a copy of Leif the Lucky. Then for my own enjoyment, this is The Fall of the Year by Dallas Lore Sharp. I have seen some videos on the CMEC, and this series, The Fall of the Year, The Spring of the Year, etc., is recommended for parents to read as they are preparing to do the natural histories with their kids. Then I have Seed Babies by Margaret Warner Morley. I don't know that this is necessarily in a curriculum, but I really loved what I've read of this. It is so sweet. It might be in one of the curriculums because it's definitely on Yesterday's Classics. But it's a Yesterday's Classics. But I've looked through this and really liked the look of it. And so this is something, again, I'll pre-read a couple of chapters, and then if it's good, I'm thinking adding this to our spring rotation when the things are blooming and when things are growing, and just having this as another option for good nature reading. Okay, I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought Elementary Geography by Charlotte Mason. I wasn't gonna do this, okay? I was gonna get, there's a version on Wildwood that is basically this, but completely updated and modernized, to take away any of the racial slurs and some of the disparaging stuff. And I can't think of the name of it. If I remember it, I'll put a link below. But that was like 15 bucks, and I found this for a whopping $4. And so I figured for $4 I can give it a try, and if I can use a third of it or even half of it for that cost, it's worth it to incorporate that into our geography, because I haven't done geography. I got the Skill Builders workbooks, but we haven't done any of them. So if I can add this in and maybe make this and my grammar a back and forth rotation, that would be sweet. Then I watched a bunch of the Alveary videos. I think they have 3 years worth of their book choice videos, where they give you 1 or 2 books for each year that they're choosing. A couple of years ago, I think their very first set, way back in 2022, 2023, they were talking about how Ambleside Online chooses Arabella Buckley, but they as Alveary choose Edith Patch. And so I picked up 2 of her Edith Patch books, Holiday Shore and Holiday Pond, and I think that these will be lovely. I'm excited to, again, pre-read a couple chapters and then integrate them when they seem appropriate. And then the only Arabella Buckley they had was Life and Her Children. This one looked really good. You know, I don't know what it's going to cover exactly. Again, I'm going to be doing some pre-reading. In fact, some of these might just bless me for a while until my kids are mature enough to handle these. But these were really, really well priced. You know, they're paperbacks. This was $12, and I think to order the paperback from yesterday's classic is like $15. But I was supporting a local shop, and if I decide I love this and I want to keep it forever, I could always get a nicer copy or order more Arabella Buckley from yesterday's classic. So yeah, it's a good opportunity for me to test out Arabella Buckley, see if we like her. Then I picked up a couple things that are required for the next 2 to 3 years of nature study with Alveary, and that is the Christian Liberty Nature Reader, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Y'all, I was really skeptical because it's the Christian Liberty Nature's Readers, and I'm only going to buy these used. I will not be buying them new. I will not be giving Christian Liberty Press my money, okay? I'm giving a local homeschool consignment store my money. However, I did find one of these at my other used bookstore. It was level 5, so I didn't need it, but I did read it, and it was actually pretty solid. Now, there is stuff about how awesome it is that God created the animals, which I think would be really challenging if you're super secular. But for us, since we are Christian, I think they're going to be okay. Which one is this one? This one's number 3. So let me show you number 1. I think these are going to be all right, and the idea is that you're going to read about an animal, and you know, this is a used copy, and that eventually I think your kid could read it on their own. So we'll see. I'm excited to see kind of how we parse that out, how they have it lesson planned. This is the reason I decided to join the Alveary, was because they have really hand-holding lesson plans, and I think I just need a couple of years of someone holding my hand, walking me through the method, helping me organize my time. I routinely go over my 10 minutes, so I need that help. But I did find all of these, and I feel good about buying them used because I will not be giving this company my money straightforward. I'll buy them used, but I'm not going to buy them new. And if anyone's wondering, that's how I'll be handling things like Harry Potter as well. If there's a problematic author where I really like the work, but I don't want to be giving them money, I'll be buying things used because we have a massive used book market around the country. So just a thought for y'all. In that same vein, I got the Storybook of Science, a classic children's storybook about nature. The first 2 chapters in this were a little bit ridiculous. They were like setting up some kind of narrative story that just was weird. But once we got into the actual nature stuff, it was really interesting. It covered all kinds of things like weather and like stinging nettle. And there was a whole thing about how hand presses work. This one's on clouds. So again, I think I'm going to have weeks, if not months, of some pre-reading and delighting in what we have. And hopefully I've got literally a couple of years, like all of this year and into next year, for some really good nature reading. I am going to eventually be adding nature reading in, where we will do a science lesson one day from Little Hearts, Little Hands, and then a nature read on the alternating days. But we're gonna work up to that. Then I grabbed a year full of poems. I looked at several different collections of poems because I wanna have more. And they had like most loved poems, old and new. And I really liked it, but none of their collections were less than like $15. And I know I can buy it used somewhere else for cheaper. So I'm gonna wait. So I bought this instead. Look how pretty that is. And this is pretty and colorful and has a lot of variety. So what I think we'll do is once we finish our flower fairies, I will just start with whatever month we're in and we'll just work through it from there. And last but certainly not least, I bought the Teacher's Guide to Song School Spanish. I'm gonna try one more time. Now, I do have access to the Alveary Spanish, and I looked through it preliminarily, and I wasn't super impressed because the whole first lesson is about a birthday party, and you learn about the word clown and the word invitations. And I don't know that that is where I want my kids to start. This starts with the kids learning how, like, hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. Yeah, so the first chapter is greeting words. The second chapter is making friends. And the third is how are you? So if you want to look at the actual chapters, there they are. And I didn't get the CD because we don't actually have a CD player. We do have a DVD player, which I just bought because if I ever need to cancel all of my streaming services, I can now just get DVDs from the thrift store and the library. But they do offer this streaming. So you can just buy the music streaming. You don't have to buy the teacher's guide or whatever. So I think we're gonna do that. And I think the streaming is like $20. So this was 10, the streaming will be $20, so 30 for the whole curriculum. I think that's what we're gonna do, y'all. I think we're gonna try that. Let's hope one of these works because otherwise I'm just giving up on languages for a couple of years. I'm just Future Breckie here, popping in to say that I do have a couple of books that have come in. First, this is the America First updated version. Lawton Evans, updated and revised by Rachel Leibovitz. This is the one you want to get. Don't get the original because it has all of that problematic language. Rachel goes into the changes that she made up here and explains all of that. I have read through 3 or 4 of these stories, and while they're a little bit violent because the beginning of our history is kind of violent, I think I'm going to be adding these into our history curriculum. Not quite sure how. This is the main spine in Wildwood, so I'm glad I have it, and I'm gonna figure out a way to integrate it in as we do history. Then I went back by my favorite bookstore. I was just in the area, and I can never say no. Y'all, it's a problem. It's a good thing it's an hour for me. This is the only non-school related book that I got, and it was an introduction to permaculture. This is hard to find, this actual Bill Mollison version, because I have a little bit of land. I mean, we live in the suburbs. We don't live out in the country, but we live close to the country, so this is something I want to read over the winter to see what I can be putting into practice for the spring. I then was able to find Favorite Norse Myths retold by Mary Pope Osborne. Look at that whopping 75 cents. We love Mary Pope Osborne. Ooh, look at these pictures. Oh my gosh. And again, we're gonna do a mini Viking unit in May, June, I think. So I'm collecting stuff for that. I have my eyes out for Leif the Lucky. In that same vein, I was able to find Benjamin Franklin. This is a Delaire's book, and it was only $1.75. These are actually kind of expensive on the resale market because of how popular they are with homeschool moms. So I'm excited to have my own copy. Our library does not have all the Delaire's books. In fact, I don't know how many of these they do have. So I'm glad to have at least one of these. I'll be integrating when we do Early America. The last big book that I got was the Barefoot Book of Classic Poems. This was just 50 cents, and this has been there for a few different visits, and like, y'all, it is so lovely. The art in here is really great. We've had several different books that we've gotten used from this Barefoot Classics press, like this Barefoot press, and I have really enjoyed them all. So glad to add to our poetry collection. Finally, of the little things that I got, I did find this Good and the Beautiful booster card reader. Now, I'm not really sure how far this is gonna go, but I like the idea of just giving some different drills for us to practice some sounds that are different than All About Reading. All About Reading can just get tedious sometimes. So I like the idea that if we have a day where I can't do a full All About Reading lesson, I could just drill them on this and then have them read to me. So I grabbed that. It was $1.50. And then I found the Tell Me a Story, Mystery in the Forest. These are an Ebu set. You guys know how I love the Ebu cards. And the whole idea of this particular set of cards is they are just pictures. And you have the kids grab a bunch of different pictures and they have to tell you a story. And so I feel like this could be a really great creative game where we talk about beginning, middle, and end and what the elements of a story are. And so I'm excited to have these and to have only paid $3 rather than the like $15 or $16 that they go for when you buy them new. All right, just a tiny little haul to add to this. I'm still waiting on 50 Famous Stories Retold, and I added to that order a copy of Home Education, a paper copy, because reading the ebook is just getting frustrating. I want to be able to write more notes in the margins, and because I could not find it used anywhere for cheaper than buying it full price, was the third Felicity. I have all the others. I can't find number 3. So those are just some things I'm adding. Quick future Breckie, now back to past Breckie. As you can see, I have a nice big haul of books. And again, I have 2 more coming. Hopefully this is all that I'll be getting for a while, though I do need to go and take a couple pieces of curriculum, like the homeschool languages curriculum. I was not able to get all the pieces together before I left today. So I will be taking that. And when I go take that, I may have to peruse and see what new things have come in. But I don't intend on buying much more curriculum from this. I am excited, especially to get into a lot of these nature readers. I checked out a couple books on nature writing from the library, and the first one was so dry. I mean, it put me to sleep, which was great, but I'm gonna try to read 1 chapter out of a nature, natural writing book every night before bed. That's one of my goals. And so now I have a nice variety where I could use any of these for pre-reading, but also for my own edification. So comment down below, let me know. First of all, have you read any of these? Particularly a lot of these nature readers. Have you read any Edith Patch? Have you read any Arabella Buckley? Have you ever read this? Is it Faber? Faber? I have no idea. Jean-Henri Fabre. I don't speak any French at all. If you've read any of these, let me know which one is your favorite, or if there's a different book by one of these authors that you think is so good, let me know and I'll keep my eye out for it. If you are using the Alveary, let me know. First of all, let me come find you on the Hive. I do have this name on this channel as my Alveary Hive name, Breckie L. It is not my legal name. In case some of you guys were wondering, that's not the name you're gonna see on my marriage license, but it is the name that I use on YouTube and in my writing life. So that is the name I do have over on the Hive if you are looking for me. Yeah, and let me know, have you found any really great book finds? Where do you find your book finds? Have you ordered from yesterday's classics? Do you have any special places you like to look for a lot of these Charlotte Mason books? If you are Charlotte Mason inspired, of course, let me know. Let me know your favorite resources. I have been listening to a Delectable podcast, and I've gone back and re-listened to a lot of the Common House. I have a membership to the Common House. I won't keep it after this year, but I'm really using the resources I have. Anyways, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're finding the best books ever. Truly, I want to bless you and say, I hope you find, wherever you go look for books next, I hope you find something truly special. And until the next video, bye.